You wake up the morning after a big celebration, and for a few seconds you reach for the feeling you expected to still be there. The lights were warm, the food was good, people laughed. Maybe you even thought, this is it, this is the reset. This is the moment I finally feel full. And then you notice it. A flatness in your chest, a quiet irritability, a weird emptiness that makes the room feel too normal. Maybe you scroll through photos and instead of joy you feel a sharp little sting, like you're watching your own life from the outside. Or you look at the calendar and the blank days ahead feel heavier than they should. If this is you around Christmas, New Year, or any big milestone, you are not broken and you are not ungrateful. You are experiencing something so common it has a name in psychology, even if people rarely say it out loud: the post-holiday crash. In this video, you're going to learn why your mind drops after peaks, why the crash feels personal even when it's biological, and most importantly, a simple 4-part soft landing protocol you can use today so celebrations give you warmth without stealing your peace afterward. And in a few minutes, I'll show you the one counterintuitive move that makes the crash shorter. Instead of chasing the missing feeling, you learn to translate it. Let's name what's happening in plain language. The post-holiday crash is the emotional gap between the intensity of an event and the quiet of normal life. It is not depression in itself, and it doesn't mean the event failed. It's what happens when your nervous system goes from fireworks back to candlelight, and your brain tries to explain the contrast as a problem with you. Think of your mind like a camera that adjusts exposure. During the holidays, the exposure changes. More stimuli, more social cues, more food, more novelty, more expectation, more meaning layered onto a few hours. Your system adapts to that brightness. Then the lights go off, the exposure is still set for fireworks, and the ordinary day looks dim. The day didn't become worse. Your settings just haven't recalibrated yet. Now here's why it feels so intense. First, your brain is built to enjoy anticipation more consistently than the thing itself. When you look forward to a holiday, you get repeated little bursts of motivation and hope, planning, imagining, counting down. The event is one finite moment. After it ends, the anticipation machine goes silent, and your brain registers the silence as loss. Second, a big celebration often gives you temporary structure. There are plans, roles, scripts, invitations, responsibilities, maybe even a reason to dress well and show up. When it ends, you don't just lose a party. You lose the structure that was holding your attention together. Third, milestones trigger a mental audit. New Year especially turns your mind into a strict accountant. What did I achieve? What did I miss? Who moved ahead? What am I still carrying? Psychologists call this kind of thinking counterfactual. Your brain generates alternate versions of your life and then compares you to the version that hurts the most. And because your brain is a survival machine, it doesn't generate the kind counterfactual first. It generates the one that motivates change through discomfort. So you feel regret, pressure, and a sense that time is slipping, even if nothing objectively changed overnight. Finally, there's a social layer. Holidays are a spotlight. Everyone else seems to be glowing, connected, loved, successful, and certain. Even if you know it's curated, your nervous system still reacts. And if you were lonely or you felt like an outsider in your own family, the contrast is even sharper. The world is celebrating together, and you are managing yourself alone. When the spotlight ends, you may feel not relief, but a hollow echo, because you were holding your breath the whole time. Here's the hidden cost if you don't understand this pattern. You start avoiding joy because you associate joy with the crash. You keep celebrations small, you decline invitations, you tell yourself you're not a holiday person, when in reality, you are protecting yourself from the emotional whiplash. Or you do the opposite. You chase bigger and bigger peaks, more stimulation, more purchases, more plans, because you're trying to outrun the drop. Both strategies steal the same thing: your ability to live comfortably at baseline where most of life actually happens. And baseline is where intimacy grows, skills build, and self-respect is earned. So the goal isn't to force yourself to feel happy after the holidays. The goal is to learn how to land. To do that, we need one key reframe. The crash is not a verdict, it's a transition. It's your system coming down from intensity, and transitions require design. I'm going to give you a toolkit of 4 small tools. Not 10, not 20, just 4. Each one has a simple name so you can remember it when your brain is foggy. And each one takes minutes, not hours. Tool 1 is called the contrast label. It does one thing: it stops your brain from turning contrast into self-judgment. Here's how it works. When you notice the flatness, you say out loud if you can, "This is contrast, not truth." That's it. Because the mind loves to explain feelings with stories. And the most available story after a milestone is, something is wrong with me, my life is wrong, I'm behind. Labeling contrast interrupts the story generator. Try it in a real moment. You're washing dishes the next day, the kitchen is quiet, and your thoughts start. That's it? That was the year? Everyone else has something to show for it. Pause and say, this is contrast, not truth. Notice what happens. The feeling may not vanish, but it becomes less personal. It becomes weather, not identity. And once it's weather, you can work with it. Micro-experiment for the next 24 hours. Every time you catch yourself interpreting the drop as meaning, use the same sentence. Keep it boring on purpose. Your brain learns through repetition, not inspiration. Tool 2 is called the translation question, and this is the counterintuitive move I promised. Instead of asking, how do I get the good feeling back? You ask, what is this feeling trying to protect, and what is it asking me to notice? Because after big events, the emptiness is often not emptiness. It's unprocessed data. It might be exhaustion, sensory overload, social stress, unresolved family dynamics, or grief for what you wish the holidays were. Your brain wraps that complexity into one word, empty. Translation turns empty into information. Here is how you do it step by step. First, you locate the feeling in your body. Is it heavy in the chest, tight in the throat, restless in the stomach? Second, you choose one of 3 translation prompts. This feeling is protecting me from. This feeling is pointing to. Or, this feeling is asking for. Third, you answer with a single sentence, not a paragraph. For example, this feeling is asking for rest, or this feeling is pointing to loneliness, or this feeling is protecting me from admitting I'm disappointed. That sentence is not a diagnosis. It's a first draft, but even a rough translation reduces the fog, and fog is what makes you spiral. If you want, pause the video for 10 seconds and write your one sentence. And if you're comfortable, share it in the comments. You'll be surprised how many people have the same line running in their head, and how relieving it is to see you're not alone. Tool 3 is called the soft landing plan. This one is practical, almost boring, and that's why it works. A soft landing is a small set of anchors you place immediately after a peak, so your nervous system has something predictable to hold. Your brain doesn't calm down because you tell it to. It calms down when it can predict. So you design 3 anchors for the day after a celebration. Anchor 1 is a body anchor, a walk, a shower, a gym session, stretching, a slow meal, anything that signals safety through sensation. Anchor 2 is a space anchor, one small reset in your environment, like making the bed, clearing one surface, opening a window for 5 minutes. Anchor 3 is a meaning anchor, a tiny act that connects the celebration to your real life, like sending one message of appreciation, writing 3 sentences about what mattered, or choosing one photo and printing it or saving it somewhere intentional. Notice what this does. It tells your mind the peak is over, but connection continues. You are not falling off a cliff, you are walking down a ramp. Let's make it concrete. Imagine it's January 1st. You wake up, you feel the drop, and your instinct is to lie in bed and scroll, chasing stimulation. Instead, you run the soft landing plan. You take a 10-minute walk, even if it's cold. You come back and clear one small area, maybe the table, maybe the sink. Then you send one message. Last night meant a lot. Thank you for being there. That's 15 minutes of action that changes the emotional trajectory of the whole day, because you are turning the crash into a bridge. Micro-experiment. Before your next holiday gathering, write your 3 anchors as if you were packing them in your pocket. Do not wait until you feel bad. Design is easier than repair. Tool 4 is called the milestone reframe, and it's specifically for New Year. Milestones trick your brain into thinking identity changes on a date. That's why January 1st can feel like a judge, a new chapter you must deserve. But psychology tells us change rarely happens like a light switch. It happens like a dimmer, small adjustments that compound. So here's the reframe. The new year is not a doorway, it's a mirror. It reflects what you've been practicing, not what you wish you were. And mirrors are useful, not cruel, if you look with the right lens. To use this tool, you do a 2-minute dimmer check, not a life trial. You ask 3 questions. What did I practice more this year, even if it was small? What drained me consistently? And what is one tiny practice that would make next week 2% easier? 2% is the key. Because 2% is believable. Your nervous system can cooperate with believable. A massive resolution makes your system defensive. A 2% shift makes your system curious. For example, instead of I will become a new person, you choose I will close my day with a 3-minute reset. Or I will send one message per week to someone I care about. Or I will put my phone in another room for the first 10 minutes of work. The goal is not to impress yourself. It's to give yourself a handle. And when you have a handle, you stop gripping the calendar for control. Now let's connect these tools into a simple protocol you can remember when you're tired. Step 1. Contrast label. This is contrast, not truth. Step 2. Translation question. What is this feeling protecting, pointing to, or asking for? Step 3. Soft landing plan. 3 anchors. Body, space, meaning. Step 4. Milestone reframe. A 2% dimmer check instead of a life verdict. If you do only this, something changes. You stop treating the post-holiday crash as evidence that you are failing at life, and you start treating it as a predictable curve your mind runs after intensity. And when something is predictable, it becomes manageable. That's the real power here. Not forcing happiness, but building emotional literacy and gentle structure so your life doesn't rise and fall with calendar events. One more thing before we end. If the crash you feel is deep, lasting, and it doesn't lift at all over weeks, or it comes with hopelessness, inability to function, or thoughts of self-harm, that's not just a holiday transition, and you deserve real support from a professional. But for many people, what feels like a personal failure is actually a nervous system landing with no runway. And now you have a runway. So tonight, try the smallest version. Label the contrast, translate 1 sentence, and place 1 anchor. Then notice what happens in your body when you treat your mind like a system you can design, not an enemy you must defeat. And if you want, tell me in the comments which part hits you most. The empty morning, the mental audit, or the social spotlight. If this helped you feel seen and gave you a practical way to land, like the video, share it with someone who always feels strange after big days, and subscribe to Mind Unlocked, because we're building a toolkit for better thinking, clearer communication, and deeper self-understanding, one small mental skill at a time.